You guys weren't even here. I looked down at Clyde. No, I must do it for the lulz. Besides, this is my $30. I better be getting something out of it. None of us would have set them off, and you guys weren't even here. I looked down at Clyde, and he had tears in his eyes. That cinched it for me. I had never before seen him shed tears, except when you had Dell spank him all kinky like back when we were healing or some shit. It was heartbreaking. The comlink on... Oh, can you shop that? Someone give this man a... Someone give this man a link to a 24 screenshot gallery. The comlink on Blinko's wrist beeped unexpectedly, making us all jump. Who would be calling us? We were already there. When Rancor's slammy voice came through, we were surprised even more. A little present from me to you mooks, Rancor cackled to himself. Bliko told me to bomb your headquarters, so I did. Gas bombs, that is. Get singing, you fools. Too bad you got out. That poison was strong enough to whack even you mooks.
Oh my gosh.
Blinko growled into the comlink. Rancor! How did you get this frequency? This is for heroes only, not slimy rats. The line went dead, and Rancor was sorry. I told you I didn't do it, said Clyde honestly. That wasn't just a stink bomb he set off, it was gas. If we hadn't woken up.
Wow!
He couldn't finish his sentence. For the first time in his life, Clyde was speechless. Truth be told, Clyde was at heart a good kid. He made some bad decisions and made people angry, but he would never willingly hurt someone he loved. We could tell in his eyes that he was feeling a strange sense of conscience. You guys are my best friends. I could have never forgiven myself if something happened to you. He lowered his eyes to the ground and couldn't meet our gaze. Hey, it's okay. I got down on one knee and gave him a hug. You didn't do this, Clyde. Rancor did. We're all fine. You have to learn to let these things go sometimes. In my heart, though, I couldn't seem to let it go. This time Rancor had attacked where it hurt. My friends. My family. In my head I was planning a little revenge of my own. Clyde never saw me quietly pocket his bag of stink bombs. Chapter 8. We're on 104. We only have 100 pages to go, people. Oh my gosh, wait. Oh my gosh, I didn't see that. I forgot I saw this on the inside panel. But this is cosplay, people. This is the
Oh my
author.
gosh.
What?
Gosh. You need to cap that.
I think I've got... Oh, wait. I'm going to get a better one. Hold on. Okay, got it.
Oh gosh. Did you see this one, team?
Did you get both days? Oh my gosh. Alexander White grew up in rural Alabama and lives there, where he obsesses over cartoons, comic books, and video games. Yeah. You did what? This is chapter 8, by the way. You did what? Bliko's roar echoed through his underground lair. He glared malevolently at Rancor. They're still alive? But you used the poison I gave you, right? You waited until they were asleep and then you set them off. So what went wrong? Bliko had him by the neck and was throttling him against the cave wall. Sorry, they must have not been as asleep as I thought. Rancor tried in vain to pry Blico's hands from his windpipe. They blamed it on the kid, though. The prankster. Those weren't just stink bombs, though. Ah! Can't breathe. Joke. Blico, please. You idiot. I should kill you here and now for failing me. Without releasing his grip one iota, Blico closed his eyes and counted to 10. That explains everything, right? You idiot. I should kill you here and now for failing me. Without releasing his grip one iota, Blico closed his eyes and counted to 10. Of course, faithful minions are rather hard to come by, even stupid ones. Very well. He released his grip on Rancor's throat.
Yeah, 7, yeah.
And turned away from him. Rancor slid down to the floor, panting and wheezing, trying to catch his breath. Thanks, boss. I won't fail you next time. Rancor tried to stand and inch his way toward the door. I'll, just be going. Oh, no, you won't. Blico spat at him without turning. Just because I decided not to kill you doesn't mean you won't have a punishment. Rancor gasped. He had seen his master's version of punishment. He didn't like it one bit. No, boss, you can't. He got on his knees and started to cry. You can't. In a flash, Blico had him by the arm. Oh, gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. This is what happens to those who fail, to those that fail me. Know this, my rodent friend, and take it to heart. This is going to hurt me a lot more than it's going to hurt you. Well, not really. With a sickening snap, Blico ripped Rancor's arm from its socket up to his shoulder. Rancor screamed in agony as torn ligaments and sinew broke free from his body. His howls echoed throughout the cave, making even Blackthorn in his laboratory shiver. Bleeding ink profusely, Rancor stared at his torn-off arm in Blico's hands. Blico saw him staring and grinned wickedly at him. Need a hand?
No, don't hurt yourself. It's not worth it.
He laughed in Rancor's face loudly. Oh, look, you're dripping ink all over the nice, clean cave floor. You'd better go see Blackthorn about getting a replacement. You'll die from ink loss soon if you don't hurry. You really should have been more careful. Enjoying himself, Blico smacked Rancor hard across the face with his own dislocated hand. You could get hurt in this line of work. Theodore jumped and hit his head on top of the cage at the sounds of screaming reverberating throughout the cave. The screams seemed to be coming from Blico's lair. He dearly hoped that no harm was befalling another innocent Dune. He had to get himself and his friend out of here. He turned to the sleeping Dune kitten in the cage next to his. Toby, wake up, Toby. He found a small rock on the floor of the cage and managed to toss it at Toby's nose. The kitten slowly opened his eyes and turned toward Theodore. What's wrong, Theo? I was having the most wonderful dream. I was back home with my mommy and daddy, and I had never even seen this terrible place. We were eating lasagna. He started to cry loudly, and Theodore tried to keep him quiet.
Oh, face.
You know, I was gonna make like a joke that it was Garfield, but I can't. I don't even. Toby, it's okay. You're going to be fine, but you have to keep quiet, please. Theodore looked around nervously as Toby lowered his crying to a sniffle. He breathed a sigh of relief that nobody had heard the cry, or if anybody had heard, they hadn't bothered to check on the kitten. After all, his sounds of sadness weren't exactly an unusual occurrence in this horrible place. What is it, Theo? Toby asked again, his bottom lip quivering. Theodore lowered his voice and pressed his body as close to Toby as I could.
Oh dear. Oh my gosh.
Don't worry, guys. Theodore was not stupid.
We're getting out of here tonight, Toby, right now. I'm not going to let it end this way. Not for me and not for you. But Theo, we're locked up in these cages. Even if we were fully trained grown-up tunes, we couldn't break out. Toby's eyes threatened to tear up again, and Theo realized how much he had to hurry. There must be some way out of here. Theo sat and thought about it, but nothing seemed to come to him. A tune, especially an untrained tuneling, can't pass through solid tunetanium bars. Yes, tunetanium makes a difference. He jumped again when a new voice came to his ears, a slithery voice. You want on up there, tune? Rancor stood in the doorway and glared at him. What do you think will happen? You think some magical fairy will appear and grant your every wish? Hate to break it to you, kid, this ain't no fairy tale. This is reality. Like hell it is. And in reality, you die a cold, hard death all alone. What happened to your arm, you creep? Theodore glared at him. Rancor's entire arm had been replaced with a robotic claw in Blackthorn's lab. And now it's Mega Man. Rancor snarled at him. That's none of your business, you! He made a move toward Theodore to strike him, but he stopped. You're the one that Bleeko's gonna want to see next. You have earned yourself a little extra time with that song and dance routine. But your ninth life is almost up. Same for your friend there. Bleeko's getting hungry. He flashed his rotting teeth. Wait, what? He flashed his broken, rotting teeth toward Theodore. Of course, the jerk did rip my arm off. Theodore watched as Rancor's mind wandered. What sort of twisted thoughts might be going on inside his head? What sort of villainy could he be planning? Rancor took a ring out of his keys and absent-mindedly spun them around his finger on his real hand. Alright.
Okay, and what the...
Evan, the king of Photoshopia. Make him with the 2 medallions and a crown, damn it. Alright, I'll tell you what, kid. Rancor leaned in close. Theodore could smell his foul breath as he lowered. Yeah. As he lowered his voice, I'll let you out of here. I'm not exactly in the mood to pander to Bleeko right now. Pander? The only reason I'm not defecting immediately is because Bleeko would kill me in a heartbeat. So I'll let you out. Oh yeah, because that'll make things better. Don't breathe a word of this to anybody, you hear me? The only reason I'm letting you out is because Bleeko hurt me. Let's just say I'm taking the dog's food bowl away from you, got it? Let's just say I'm taking the dog's food bowl away from him. Got it.
Shimo got swindled.
Swindle Blinko. Theodore nodded quickly and Rancor continued. But once you're out of there, you're on your own. I'm not putting my own neck on the line to help some brat with an escape plan. He looked around and made sure nobody was watching, and he slid the rusty key into the padlock and turned it. Shoo, if you get caught again, I'm not helping. Theodore still refused to move, though. I'm not going without my friend, who I glimpsed earlier, but now apparently we're like best friends. He motioned toward the shivering Toby. Either unlock his cage too, or lock mine up again. I'm not going without him. Rancor snarled and spat at Theodore. Are you crazy, brat? I knew I shouldn't have gotten involved with the prisoners. If Blico finds out about this, I'm dead. Haven't you forgotten about your arm? Theodore pointed out. Next time, it might not be just an arm. It might be a leg or something else. Rancor threw his arms into the air. All right, I'll do it. Pulled out another key and unlocked Toby's cage. Now get out of here. Hey, illusionary. Yeah, you're gonna have to change your name and backspace the innocence out of there once this is done.
Yeah, innocence isn't going to be part of your name after you listen to this for like 5 seconds.
And unlocked Toby's cage. Now get out of here. With force, he gave Theodore a good kick and then bolted. What he wouldn't do for revenge. Rancor just hoped that it didn't come back and bite him. It was so dark, they couldn't see their hands in front of their faces. Only the dim light from Blackthorn's lab shone behind them. Shone.
Oh, is Shone back?
Shone behind them.
Fantastic. Wait, I'm gonna wreck it harder. I'm gonna wreck it harder. Only the dim light from Blackthorn's lab. Shaquille O'Neal's acting career.
Lab shone behind them, and as they made their way further out, that became dimmer and dimmer. Toby squeezed Theodore's hand tightly. I'm scared, Theo. I've never been good at with the dark. We could run into anybody out there. What about that monster that you told me about? That Blico. He could be anywhere. Oh, I'm scared, Theo. Real scared. Shh. It's gonna be alright, Tobe. Hey, remember what I told you before? I'm gonna get you out of here. I wouldn't let that creep hurt you. He put an arm around Toby and hugged him. But we have to be quiet now, Tobe. Shh. But how? Toby shivered in the cold. We don't know where we're going, and even if we did, we can't see where we're going, and even if by some miracle we do get out of this cave, how do we even know where this cave is? Theodore paused and tried to stifle the growing tears inside him. You're right, Tobe. It's just too much. We could be miles underground for all we know. We could be walking straight toward Blico. We need a hero. And both of them sat on the cold cavern floor and began to cry. I had in mind a very dangerous solo mission, one so dangerous that I had to hide it from Mike and Blinko. If they ever found out, they'd be furious at me for putting my life in such jeopardy. But it had to be done. I worked tirelessly in my lab, putting the finishing touches on my blinding stink bombs. The idea came from Clyde's own stink bombs, which I had pocketed after the gassing of the base. These were no normal stink bombs, though. Not anymore. These were monsters that I had requisitioned into my personal tools, and they had Blico's name written all over them. I stood over my workbench and poured the foul-smelling chemical into individual-sized canisters. Once thrown, they would emit a smell so foul and loathsome that even Blico would gag. I hoped that this would buy me enough time to complete my mission. Dell appeared behind me and peered over my shoulder. Alex, what are you doing? I stuttered, not wanting to give myself away. She would never keep this from Mike. They're just toys, Dell. Nothing to worry about. Gum Gum is assisting me.
Oh boy, Moosh is back.
God. I looked over at my nervous assistant. The giant blue jelly bean, by the way, for those of you who weren't here yesterday. Don't worry. Do I hear Mike calling, Dell? Look, Dell looked at me suspiciously. You're hiding something, I can tell. Come on, out with it. Tell me what you're planning. Nothing, Dell. Geez, can't you just leave me alone for 5 seconds without a search for it? Please. Dell sniffed and looked hurt. Fine, don't tell me. I was just trying to help. Well, I don't. Well, don't. I can handle this myself. Just butt out. Fine, sir. I could feel the sadness in her voice. As she left the lab in tears. Holographic tears. Dell, wait, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so harsh. She was gone. I felt a terrible guilt for snapping at her like I did, but I forced myself to think of the mission. I knew I only had moments before Dell told Mike what I did, and he came to investigate. Quickly, I took my homemade stink bombs and fled the apartment. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was going to do when I got there. Oh man, shoot, where's that? Where's that link to the authors? Let's see, he made a journal about like having trouble with this story. Let me find it. Yeah, wait, stream.
What?
Yeah,
Where?
that.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, that's the author's. That's the author right there.
The book doesn't have a picture of the Moosh character, does it?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. And I knew if I survived this, Mike was going to kill me. Dell appeared in Mike's lab in tears. Dell, what's wrong? What happened to you? Talk to me. Dell sniffled and wiped her eyes. Something's wrong with Alex. He told me to butt out. He yelled at me. What? He didn't. Mike stormed out of the lab and furiously beat on my lab door. Alex, come out here. Apologize to Dell right now. Yeah. No answer met him but the echo of metal. Alex, it's all right. Please open the door. Still no answer. We just want to talk. Nothing. Mike's anger began to fade into worry. All right, Dell, open the door. Something's not right. You're dang right things aren't right. Mike spun around as Clyde stepped into the apartment. That stupid dragon stole my stink bombs. I was going to use them to stink up your place back on Labosia, but when I went to find them, they were gone. Stink bombs? Why would Alex steal your stink bombs? The door slid open and Mike stepped into the empty lab. Gum Gum! Where is Alex? The blue jelly bear. Oh, it's a jelly bear. Sorry, I forgot. Giant blue jelly bear. Hang on. Let me see if I get. Hang on.
We're looking, Evan. We might have it.
Well, this is the closest I can find.
Evan, what the?
That's the closest thing. Nervously hopped down from a stool and approached Mike. I can't tell you. I promised Alex that I wouldn't want it. I don't want to get him in trouble. If you don't tell us, I'll eat you, candy boy. Mike pushed Clyde away and looked imploringly at Gum Gum. Please, Gum, he could be in big trouble if you don't tell us. Gum Gum hesitated, but knew Mike spoke the truth. He went to rescue all the kidnapped tunes from Bleako. Oh.
Oh right, these main characters are a thing, aren't they? Oh.
It's safe for work, illusionary. It's all right. Anyway, well, the one I posted is I don't know.
Yeah, anything Evan posts is free game. Be careful.
What? Mike's eyes lit up in alarm. We have to stop him. Blinko! In a flash, Blinko appeared by Mike's side. I'm here, Mike. What's the trouble? I was just on a date with True. Blinko, we have to stop Alex. He's going to try and go up against Blinko using homemade stink bombs. Even I didn't think he could do something so foolish. Blinko's eyes sprang out of his head on springs in alarm. He's going to get himself killed. Clyde's fury melted, and even he showed concern. We have to do something. That stupid dragon is going to get a pounding from me for worrying us like this. I knew I only had one chance. I didn't know where Bleako's lair was. But there was one place I thought I could find out. The scene of Bleako's worst travesty, Ink City. As I landed in the once happy streets, I was struck by how much had truly changed since the kidnappings had started. Once this place had been full of silly, laughing tunes. It had been a bright and vibrant place. Oh gosh, I know that. Is that where is that
Dracula.
from? Oh, right. Shoot, I've seen all the parodies. Why do I not know that? It had been a bright and vibrant place and always sunny. Now it was cold and gray because no tune wanted to risk getting nabbed. No tunes walked the streets. No happy song was to be sung unless mysterious universe gas shows up. And thus the color had begun to drain from the city itself. A thundercloud overhead crackled.
Yes, Evan. We're going to find Gina, and we'll get her in here to fall asleep again. No happy song was to be sung, and thus the color had begun to drain from the city itself. A thundercloud overhead crackled and began to pour. No real storms ever occurred in Ink City. That is, no storms anchored in dull reality. Rain in Ink City came from clouds with bright faces on them. Even storms in Ink City were silly in some way. Not these clouds. These were real storm clouds, thick and black. The sky filled overhead with the angry storm cloud formations, and it began to rain hard. This was a nightmare storm. As I ran for cover, my thoughts turned back to Dell and Mike. I hoped they would forgive me for yelling at her. My heart burned with sorrow. I was so engulfed in my own thoughts that I never noticed the little man ahead of me. Oof. Oh, excuse me. Whoa, the man was obviously of Toonish descent. He was wrinkled and ancient, with green ears pressed against the side of his head. He had a long, thin mustache that floated out from the front of his face mysteriously, as if the whiskers had heard of gravity and decided they'd simply rebel. He was wearing a multicolored robe and a dappled orange fez on top of his head. He was quite a peculiar little old man indeed. Definitely Bonbon, definitely. Yeah, illusionary, it's pretty bad. No, but even Lucas's stuff is better than this. I hate to say. I mean, even maybe by like much, but still. Quite all right, young man. He spoke kindly with a voice as ancient as the wind. You look lost. Come inside now. The city is no longer the safe haven it once was, particularly during a storm like this. He pointed behind him to a dusty-looking shop with the words, Sheen Sohi's Toon TV Repair Shop, printed in large black letters above the door. The man looked cordial enough. He looked silly enough for a toon, yet wise enough for a mysterious old man. Everyone knows that wise old men appearing out of nowhere to a hero on a mission are a good sign. It's a fact. If the hero follows the sage advice of the wise old man, it will be impossible for them to fail, or so they say. Oh my gosh. Well, that worked. Yep.
anxious to step out of the rain, I greeted him. I took him up on his offer and stepped into the shop. I was greeted with rows upon rows